welcome to Sleepy Story Facts, and to this very special bedtime story, one that has been made entirely for you, for this moment, for the gentle space between wakefulness and dreams. Tonight, we are going somewhere extraordinary, not in a way that asks anything of you, not in a way that rushes or dazzles or demands your attention, but in the softest, most unhurried way imaginable. We are going to the universe, to the deep, velvet, breathing dark of space, where time moves slowly and silence has a texture all its own. This is a sleep story unlike any other, a long, slow, calming narration that will carry you through 100 of the most peaceful, most quietly astonishing mysteries the cosmos has ever held. There is nothing you need to do right now except allow yourself to be here. Let your body become heavy. Let your shoulders release whatever they have been holding all day. Feel the surface beneath you, firm and steady and entirely yours. If your eyes are open, let them close. If your mind is still turning over the day just past, let those thoughts slow and soften now, like ripples on a pond settling back to stillness. You are safe, you are warm, and this gentle bedtime story will stay with you all the way through the night. Breathe in slowly and breathe out even more slowly. There is nowhere else to be. This is a relaxing story designed to take you somewhere vast and calm and beautiful, and it will do all the work. You only need to listen and drift. Somewhere unimaginably far from here, at the quiet outer edge of a galaxy that has not been named in any human language, there is a black hole that has been sleeping for a very long time. It does not roar or rage. It simply exists, enormous and still, curving the space around it into the gentlest of bowls. And tonight, in this sleep story, we are going to float toward it. Not quickly, never quickly. We are going to drift, the way a single feather drifts down through cold autumn air, the way a thought drifts through the mind in those last moments before sleep finally comes. We are going to spend this entire night in its company, letting its ancient stillness become our stillness too. The first thing you might notice, if you were truly floating here in the soft dark between the stars, is how quiet everything is. Not the quiet of an empty room, not the quiet of a forest at night, but a quiet that has no edges, no walls, no bottom. Space, in its truest form, carries no sound at all. There are no molecules of air out here to carry a vibration, no surface to reflect a noise back to you. There is only the slow, immense presence of everything and the absence of all sound, and somehow that silence feels less like emptiness and more like rest. This is the first of our 100 relaxing facts about the universe. Space is not simply quiet. It is the most complete silence that exists anywhere in the known cosmos. A silence so total it has been present since before our sun was born, drifting unchanged through billions of years of starlight and shadow around us. As we drift, the stars are not scattered randomly, but are gathered into vast, slow-turning families called galaxies. Our own galaxy, the Milky Way, holds somewhere between 200 billion and 400 billion stars. And yet, the space between each of those stars is so immense that if you were to shrink our entire solar system down to the size of a single coin, the nearest star to ours would still be several miles away. This is our second relaxing universe mystery. Most of the universe, even inside a galaxy full of stars, is made of distance and silence and the patient dark. The universe does not feel crowded. It feels like the kind of space that exists inside a long, calming breath. As we continue our slow drift toward the sleeping black hole, the stars around us are beginning to thin. We are moving away from the busier spiral arms of the galaxy and into quieter territory now. A region where light arrives softly from very far away and where nothing hurries. The black hole ahead of us is what astronomers call a dormant or quiescent black hole, one that is no longer actively feeding on nearby matter, no longer producing jets of energy or dramatic light. It simply rests, vast and patient and dark, holding the geometry of space around it in a long, slow curve. And there, in that curve, in that patient darkness, we are going to make our home for the night. We drift onward now, you and this calm, unhurried narration, moving together through the quiet dark at the outer edge of this ancient galaxy. There is no sensation of speed out here. There is only the slow changing of the view, the gradual thinning of stars behind us, the soft deepening of the dark ahead, and the faint, barely perceptible pull of that sleeping black hole, still light years away, drawing us forward the way a long, slow breath draws the chest gently inward. This is a relaxing story that asks nothing of you except that you continue to rest. Continue to let your body sink a little deeper into wherever you are lying. Continue to let the small tensions of the day dissolve like frost on a morning window. Your jaw can soften now. Your hands can open. The night is long and gentle, and there is so much still to explore together. As we float through this region of quiet space, there is something all around us that we cannot see, cannot touch, and cannot measure with any instrument that detects light. And yet, it is the third most important fact of our journey tonight, one of the most profound and soothing mysteries in all of cosmology: dark matter. Roughly 85% of all the matter in the universe is made of something that produces no light, reflects no light, and emits no radiation of any kind that human technology has yet been able to detect directly. We know it is there because of what it does rather than what it is. It holds galaxies together. Without this invisible presence threading through and around every galaxy like a vast, silent scaffolding, the stars within them would simply drift apart, unable to hold their graceful spiraling shapes against the outward forces of their own rotation. The Milky Way, the galaxy we call home, is wrapped in an enormous halo of dark matter, extending far beyond its visible edges. A quiet, invisible architecture that has been keeping our galaxy whole for billions of years. This is our third relaxing universe mystery. The universe is mostly made of something we cannot see, and that invisible something is the very reason galaxies exist at all, holding everything gently in place, the way sleep holds a dreaming mind. There is something deeply soothing about this idea if you let it settle slowly. Most of what surrounds you right now, even here in the comfort and darkness of your room, is, on the grandest scale, invisible. The universe is not mostly made of the things we can touch or name or point to. It is mostly made of mystery, of quiet, of the kind of presence that makes itself known only through its effects. The way kindness is sometimes felt more than seen. The way rest restores you without you ever watching it work. We continue to drift, and the black hole ahead shifts almost imperceptibly closer. Though at this distance, it remains simply a point of deeper darkness against the dark. A place where fewer stars appear, where the light from galaxies behind it bends in long, slow curves around its edge. This bending of light is called gravitational lensing, and it is our fourth universe mystery for this gentle night. When light from a distant star or galaxy travels through space and passes near a massive object, a black hole, a galaxy cluster, or any enormous concentration of matter, the gravity of that object curves the space the light is traveling through, and the light follows that curve, bending around the mass like water flowing around a stone in a slow, calm river. The effect means that a massive object in space can act like a lens, magnifying and bending the images of things far behind it, sometimes stretching a distant galaxy into a long, glowing arc, sometimes splitting a single star into a ring of light. And this happens not because anything reaches out and pushes the light, but simply because mass reshapes the very geometry of space, and light, traveling in what it experiences as a perfectly straight line, follows the shape of the space it moves through. There is something in this that feels like a kind of tenderness, the universe bending toward its own contents, curving gently around them, holding the path of even the smallest photon in a long, soft arc. As you breathe here in the dark and let this calming narration wash over you, you can imagine that the space around you too is curved and shaped by everything within it, that you are not floating alone and separate, but held gently and invisibly by the geometry of a universe that bends toward the presence of every single thing it contains. The stars ahead are few now, and the dark between them is deep and soft and ancient, and we are drifting still, patient and unhurried, toward the sleeping heart of our night's companion. Let yourself sink a little deeper now. If there is any remaining tension in your body, in your shoulders, your hips, the backs of your hands, let it soften and release as you continue to follow this gentle bedtime story through the quiet dark of deep space. We are still drifting, still moving at that same unhurried, feather-like pace toward the sleeping black hole ahead, and the universe around us is growing stiller and more beautiful with every slow moment that passes. You do not need to hold on to every word. You do not need to remember anything. This relaxing story is simply here to carry you, gently and without effort, further and further towards sleep. The stars behind us now are faint and far, and the dark ahead is deep and soft. And somewhere in all of that darkness, if your instruments were sensitive enough, you would detect something extraordinary. A faint, uniform warmth filling every direction of space equally, arriving from every point on the sky at once. So ancient it predates every star, every galaxy, and every planet that has ever existed. This is the cosmic microwave background radiation, and it is our fifth universe mystery for this long, calming night. In the very earliest moments of the universe, roughly 380,000 years after the Big Bang. The cosmos was a hot, dense, glowing fog of energy and particles so tightly packed that light could not travel through it freely. Then, as the universe expanded and cooled to a critical temperature, something changed. Electrons and protons joined together to form the first neutral atoms, and suddenly the fog cleared. Light was released for the very first time, streaming outward in every direction through a universe that had just become transparent. And that ancient light has been traveling ever since, stretched and cooled by the expansion of space over 13.8 billion years, until today it arrives as a faint microwave glow, barely above the coldest possible temperature, whispering from every corner of the sky. When you think about what that means, that the night sky around us, even in its darkness, is filled in every direction with the oldest light in existence, a gentle echo of the universe's very first moment of clarity. It feels less like a scientific fact and more like something from a dream. You are resting inside an ancient, invisible warmth that has been traveling toward you for nearly 14 billion years. This is the sixth fact of our peaceful journey. The universe has a temperature, faint as the breath of a sleeping child, and that temperature is the last whisper of the fire that made everything. We drift onward, and now the space around us opens into something that takes even the concept of emptiness to a new and almost meditative extreme. Between the great filaments and walls of galaxies that structure the universe on its largest scales, there are regions so vast and so empty that they contain almost nothing at all. No stars, no galaxies, no clouds of gas, no dark matter concentrations of any significance. These are called cosmic voids, and the largest known examples stretch for hundreds of millions of light years in every direction. Imagine a bubble of space so enormous that if you placed our entire Milky Way galaxy at its center, the nearest galaxy on the other side of that void would be so far away that its light, traveling at the fastest speed the universe permits, would take hundreds of millions of years to reach you. And inside that bubble, there is almost nothing. Not darkness in the way we usually mean it, not the soft dark of a quiet room or a cloudy night sky, but a true, patient, ancient emptiness that has persisted since the earliest structures of the universe first formed. This is our seventh relaxing universe mystery. The universe is not only mostly empty between its stars, it is mostly empty between its galaxies too. And the voids between those galaxies are among the largest and most serene structures that exist anywhere in space or time. There is something about this image, about the idea of a vast, unhurried emptiness that simply exists, unbothered, unchanged across geological and cosmic ages. That feels deeply restful to sit with. The void does not need anything from you. It does not ask to be filled or explained. It simply is, enormous and calm and ancient, and somewhere within its peaceful reaches, our drift continues, carrying us gently, silently, through the most tranquil environment the universe has ever made. You are doing so beautifully. Just resting, just listening, just letting this long and calming narration carry you further from the noise of the day and deeper into the soft, quiet architecture of the universe. There is nothing required of you here. No decisions to make, no problems to hold, no thoughts that need following. This is your time, a gentle bedtime story that belongs entirely to the slow rhythm of your breathing and the easy drift of your mind toward deep, restful sleep. We are still moving through the great emptiness of the cosmic void, and the black hole ahead is still there, patient and dark and still, waiting at the end of our long, unhurried approach. But tonight, as we drift, the universe has something tender to show us. The quiet, beautiful way that stars come to the end of their lives. Most of the stars in the universe will not end in any kind of dramatic explosion. The vast majority of them, including our own sun, will follow a path that is far more peaceful, far more gradual, and in its own way, deeply comforting to contemplate. As a star like our sun ages over billions of years, it slowly exhausts the hydrogen fuel at its core. The nuclear reactions that have been producing light and warmth for billions of years begin to quiet down, and the star, no longer able to hold itself up against the pull of its own gravity, begins to expand outward into what astronomers call a red giant. A vast, glowing sphere, many times the size of its original self, swelling slowly and majestically like a long, final breath drawn in before sleep. This is our eighth relaxing universe mystery. Most stars do not die violently, but expand slowly and gently into red giants, growing enormous and luminous before releasing their outer layers like the softest of exhalations into the space around them. After the red giant phase, those outer layers drift away into space as an expanding shell of glowing gas called a planetary nebula. One of the most quietly beautiful structures in the universe, a slow, symmetrical bloom of light spreading outward over thousands of years, carrying the atoms forged inside the star out into the cosmos to eventually become part of new worlds. And what remains at the center, once all that slow release is complete, is our ninth universe mystery for this peaceful night: a white dwarf. A white dwarf is the dense, slowly cooling remnant of a star's core, roughly the size of a planet, but containing a mass comparable to the original star, an object of extraordinary density and extraordinary stillness. It produces no new energy of its own. It simply glows with the stored heat of its long life, cooling over billions and billions of years, so slowly that many white dwarfs that exist today have barely cooled at all since the universe began. There is something in this image that feels like a meditation on rest itself. A star that has done all of its burning, all of its shining, all of its long and luminous work, and now simply sits in the quiet dark, slowly, peacefully releasing its warmth into the space around it. Unhurried, unchanged, cooling across timescales so vast that the word slow loses all ordinary meaning. As we drift closer to our sleeping black hole, we begin to enter a region where one of the most profound and strange facts of the universe becomes not just a theory, but a felt reality. The 10th mystery of this long, relaxing sleep story is the dilation of time near massive objects. Einstein's general theory of relativity tells us, and experiments have confirmed with extraordinary precision, that time does not flow at the same rate everywhere in the universe, near a massive object, a planet, a star, and most profoundly, a black hole. The fabric of space-time is curved more deeply, and time within that curve moves more slowly than it does in open space far away. The closer you are to the center of that gravitational well, the more slowly time passes for you relative to someone floating freely far above. This is not a trick of perception. It is not that time merely seems slower, the actual rate at which moments pass, the actual ticking of every clock, the actual aging of every atom, slows down in proportion to the depth of the gravitational field. Here, as we drift gently closer to the dormant black hole ahead, time is already beginning its slow, soft deepening, each moment stretching almost imperceptibly wider than the last, the way the final moments before sleep stretch and soften, until there is no clear boundary between the last thought and the first dream. Rest here a little longer. Let the weight of your body settle completely into the surface beneath you. Let your breathing find its own slow, natural rhythm. And let this gentle sleep story continue to carry you through the vast, unhurried dark of the universe. There is no destination you need to reach tonight, no moment you need to arrive at. There is only the drift, the soft dark, the faint warmth of ancient starlight, and the patient presence of everything that exists, holding you quietly as you move deeper into rest. We are still approaching our sleeping black hole, still crossing the enormous, serene distance that separates us from its event horizon. And along the way, the universe continues to offer its most peaceful mysteries for your company tonight, not far from the path of our drift, though still at a distance so great it would take light itself thousands of years to cross it. There exists one of the most extraordinary objects in all of known space, a neutron star. When a star significantly more massive than our sun reaches the end of its life, its core does not settle into the quiet cooling of a white dwarf. Instead, under the crushing weight of its own gravity, the core collapses so completely and so rapidly that electrons and protons are pressed together into neutrons, and the entire core, which may have originally been the size of Earth's sun, compresses down into a sphere roughly the width of a city, perhaps 20 kilometers across. This is our 11th relaxing universe mystery. A neutron star packs more mass than our entire sun into a ball you could place over a medium-sized city, making it the densest, stable object in the known universe, a place where a single teaspoon of its material would weigh approximately 1 billion tons on Earth. And yet, for all of that extraordinary density, a neutron star is not a violent or frightening thing to contemplate in the stillness of this night. It simply exists, spinning, cooling, persisting. One of the most enduring and stable structures the universe produces. Many neutron stars rotate, and as they do, they emit beams of electromagnetic radiation from their magnetic poles, sweeping those beams through space like the slow, steady rotation of a cosmic lighthouse. When those beams happen to sweep across our line of sight from Earth, we detect them as pulses, extraordinarily regular, extraordinarily precise pulses that arrive with a consistency that rivals the best atomic clocks ever built by human hands. These are called pulsars, and they are our 12th universe mystery for this long and calming night. The most stable pulsars keep time so accurately that astronomers use them as natural clocks to measure tiny distortions in the fabric of space-time. And the quiet, metronomic regularity of their pulses, tick and tick and tick across the vast dark, unchanged over thousands of years of observation, feels less like a scientific phenomenon and more like the universe's own heartbeat, slow and steady and ancient and calm. As we drift closer still, something else becomes perceptible here in the deep quiet of this cosmic void. Something that cannot be seen or heard, but that moves through everything nonetheless. When two massive objects, two black holes, two neutron stars, a black hole, and a neutron star in the final spiraling embrace before they merge, move around each other and eventually collide, they send ripples outward through the fabric of space-time itself. These are gravitational waves, and they are the 13th mystery of this peaceful night's journey. First predicted by Einstein over a century ago, and finally detected directly in 2015. Gravitational waves are not waves of matter or light, but waves of geometry itself, tiny, rhythmic stretches and compressions of the very fabric of space, passing through everything they encounter, through planets, through stars, through you as you lie here resting, squeezing and releasing the distance between every pair of points in the universe by an amount so small it defies imagination, smaller than the width of a single proton, and yet they are real, confirmed, and they travel outward from their cosmic sources at the speed of light, crossing billions of light years of space in every direction, carrying with them a pure, clean record of the events that created them. A record written not in light or sound, but in the shape of space itself, arriving silently and passing silently and continuing outward forever into the dark. The universe is not silent in this sense. It is trembling gently and constantly with the memory of ancient collisions, and those trembles pass through you and through everything around you like the softest possible reminder that even the fabric of reality is alive with the faintest, most peaceful motion imaginable. Stay here with me a little longer. Let your breath slow even further now. Let your thoughts become loose and unhurried, and let this long, calming narration continue to be the only thing you need to follow tonight. You have come so far already, through the velvet dark of deep space, past the invisible scaffolding of dark matter, through the ancient glow of the universe's first light, past the quiet cooling of white dwarfs and the steady pulse of neutron stars. And still, the universe has more to offer you, more gentle mysteries to place softly in your mind as you drift further and further from wakefulness and deeper into the warm, dark territory of deep sleep. We are still moving, still drifting at our feather-like pace toward the sleeping black hole that has been our companion and our destination all through this night. And the space around us continues to open into new and quietly astonishing revelations. Here is something that may feel strange at first, but which settles, once you hold it gently, into one of the most peaceful ideas the universe contains. The universe is not staying still. It is not a fixed and finished thing, a great dark room with walls. It is expanding in every direction at once, and it has been expanding since the very first moment of its existence. Every galaxy is moving away from every other galaxy, not because they are flying through space away from some central point of explosion, but because the space between them is itself growing, stretching like the surface of a balloon being slowly inflated, carrying everything embedded within it, gradually, gently, ceaselessly apart. This is our 14th relaxing universe mystery. The universe is expanding in every direction simultaneously, with no center and no edge. Every point moving away from every other point as space itself quietly and continuously grows, and it is not expanding at a steady rate. Something is causing that expansion to accelerate, to grow faster over time, rather than slowing under the pull of gravity, as one might expect. That something has been named dark energy, and it is our 15th mystery for this peaceful night. Dark energy is not a force in the way we usually imagine forces, not a push or a pull from any identifiable source, but a property of space itself, an energy that is present in empty space, in every cubic centimeter of the void, and which causes space to expand at an accelerating rate. It makes up roughly 68% of the total energy content of the universe, meaning that the single largest component of everything that exists is something we cannot see, cannot touch, cannot yet explain, and can only detect through its effect on the motion of galaxies across cosmic time. The universe is mostly made of things we do not yet understand: dark matter, dark energy. And this feels, if you let it, not like a troubling uncertainty, but like a profound and soothing invitation to wonder, a reminder that the universe is far larger and far stranger, and far more generous in its mysteries than any single mind could ever exhaust. As the expansion carries distant galaxies away from us, some of them are now so far away that the space between us and them is expanding faster than light can cross it, meaning their light will never reach us, no matter how long the universe continues. This gives rise to one of the most quietly breathtaking concepts in all of cosmology: the observable universe. The observable universe is not the whole universe, but the portion of it from which light has had enough time, in the 13.8 billion years since the Big Bang, to travel to us. It forms a sphere roughly 93 billion light years across, centered on wherever you happen to be standing. And beyond its edge, more universe continues, perhaps infinitely, in every direction, filled with galaxies and stars and mysteries that no signal from us will ever reach, and no signal from them will ever find us. This is our 16th relaxing universe mystery. We each exist at the center of our own personal observable universe, a bubble of knowable space unique to our position. And beyond its edge, the cosmos continues without boundary or end, vast and calm, and indifferent to the smallness of any single moment, holding everything, asking nothing, simply being immense and ancient and at peace. Let everything go a little more now. Let the last threads of wakefulness loosen and drift away like smoke, dissolving into cool night air. You are doing wonderfully, simply resting, simply breathing, simply letting this gentle bedtime story hold you in its long, unhurried current as we continue our slow passage through the dark. The universe around us is vast and still and endlessly generous with its wonders. And tonight, it has no shortage of peaceful things to show you as your body grows heavier and your mind grows quieter, and the boundary between listening and dreaming becomes softer with every slow breath you take. We drift onward through the cosmic void, and as we do, something begins to appear ahead and to either side of us, not stars, not galaxies, but something far larger and far more subtle than either of those. Vast, slow-turning regions of gas and dust, cold almost beyond comprehension, dark in the way that only something enormous and unhurried can be dark. These are interstellar molecular clouds, and they are the 17th mystery of this long, calming night. A molecular cloud is a region of space where gas and dust have gathered in concentrations dense enough by cosmic standards to allow molecules to form. Hydrogen, carbon monoxide, water, ammonia, and hundreds of other compounds drifting together in the cold dark, suspended in enormous volumes that can stretch for hundreds of light years in every direction. The largest of these clouds, called giant molecular clouds, contain enough material to form millions of stars. And yet, they are so diffuse that a human walking through one would notice nothing at all. The density of a giant molecular cloud is far lower than the best vacuum ever created in any laboratory on Earth, and yet, over time, over millions and tens of millions of years, gravity works on these clouds with its patient, unhurried insistence, drawing clumps of gas and dust slowly inward, compressing them gradually until the pressure and temperature at their centers rise high enough to ignite nuclear fusion, and a new star is born, glowing softly for the first time in the dark. This is our 18th relaxing universe mystery. Stars are not made quickly or dramatically, but are born from the slowest, most patient gathering imaginable, cold gas and dust pulling together across millions of years, until the universe quietly lights another candle in the dark. There's a rhythm to this process that, once you feel it, seems less like physics and more like breathing. Molecular clouds form slowly from the gas scattered by aging stars. Within those clouds, new stars ignite. Those stars burn for millions or billions of years, then release their own material back into space as planetary nebulae or supernova remnants, seeding new clouds with new elements, enriching the next generation of stars with the products of the last. The universe breathes in this way, gathering, igniting, releasing, gathering again, on timescales so immense that a single breath of this cosmic respiration spans hundreds of millions of years. This is our 19th universe mystery for this peaceful night. The universe has its own slow, majestic breathing, a cycle of stellar birth, life, and gentle dissolution that has been turning continuously since the first stars ignited in the early cosmos, and which will continue long after our own sun has cooled to a white dwarf and the last of its warmth has faded into the dark. And within those molecular clouds, in the coldest and most sheltered regions where new stars have not yet formed, something even more surprising has been found. Astronomers have detected complex organic molecules drifting in interstellar space, not just simple compounds, but molecules with dozens of atoms, including some of the chemical building blocks associated with the chemistry of life itself. Glycine, amino acids, sugars, and ring-shaped carbon structures have all been detected or strongly suggested in the spectra of interstellar clouds and comets. This is our 20th mystery. The raw ingredients of life are not rare or special to Earth alone, but are woven into the fabric of molecular clouds throughout the galaxy, drifting silently through the cold dark, waiting in the patient way that all things in the universe wait for the right conditions, the right warmth, the right moment to begin. You are so close to sleep now, so beautifully, peacefully close. Let this calming narration be the only thing that exists for you in this moment. Not a task, not a puzzle, not something to follow carefully or understand completely, but simply a sound, a presence, a long and gentle river of words carrying you further from wakefulness with every slow syllable. Your body is heavy and warm and entirely at rest, and the universe around us is growing more extraordinary with every moment of our drift. Because ahead of us now, for the first time in our long journey through the dark, the sleeping black hole is no longer simply a distant absence, a point of deeper shadow against the general dark of space. It is something we can begin to understand, something we can approach with curiosity and calm, something that, despite everything the word black hole might once have suggested to you, is one of the most serene and quietly magnificent things the cosmos has ever made. The first thing to understand as we drift closer is the event horizon. The event horizon is not a wall, not a surface, not a physical barrier of any kind that you could touch or see. It is a boundary in the geometry of space-time. The distance from the center of a black hole within which the escape velocity, the speed you would need to travel in order to move away from the black hole's gravity, exceeds the speed of light. Since nothing in the universe can travel faster than light, anything that crosses the event horizon cannot return. Not because something grabs it or pulls it violently inward, but simply because all paths through space-time beyond that boundary lead deeper inward, the way all paths through a landscape lead downhill. Once you have crossed the top of a hill with no other side, this is our 21st relaxing universe mystery. The event horizon is not a violent threshold, but a geometric one, a soft and invisible boundary where the architecture of space-time curves so deeply that all directions become inward, the way all moments of a falling night become darker without any single moment of change. And our sleeping black hole, the one we have been approaching all through this long and gentle night, has an event horizon of extraordinary size, billions of kilometers across, so large that the tidal forces at its boundary are extraordinarily gentle. So gradual is the change in gravity from one side of you to the other. At that distance, a traveler crossing the event horizon of a truly supermassive black hole would feel nothing unusual in that moment. No jolt, no alarm, no dramatic signal from the universe, just the continuing drift, the continuing dark, and the slow realization available only to those watching from outside, that a threshold had been crossed. Now here is perhaps the most quietly astonishing thing about black holes, the fact that transforms them from symbols of darkness into something altogether more tender and strange. Black holes are not perfectly black. They glow, not with light produced by infalling matter, not with the brilliance of accretion disks, but with something far fainter and far more fundamental. A glow arising from the quantum nature of space itself at the event horizon. This is called Hawking radiation, proposed by physicist Stephen Hawking in 1974. And it is our 22nd universe mystery for this long, restful night at the event horizon. The intense curvature of space-time interacts with the quantum nature of empty space in a way that causes the black hole to very slowly, very faintly radiate energy outward. The temperature of this radiation for a supermassive black hole is so extraordinarily low, far colder than even the cosmic microwave background, measured in tiny fractions of a single degree above absolute zero, that it is entirely undetectable with any current instrument, and yet it is there in principle, the faintest imaginable warmth radiating from the darkest object in the universe, a warmth so gentle and so slow that a black hole of stellar mass would take longer than the current age of the universe to lose any measurable fraction of its energy to this process. This is our 23rd mystery. Even the darkest, most gravity-bound objects in the universe are not entirely cold or entirely silent, but emit the universe's faintest, most patient warmth, a glow so quiet it makes the cosmic microwave background seem loud by comparison, a whisper from the edge of the unknowable, soft as the last thought before sleep finally, completely, gently arrives. Rest deeper now. Let this gentle sleep story become less like something you are listening to and more like something you are simply inside. A warm, dark, slow-moving place where the universe whispers its oldest secrets in the softest possible voice and asks nothing in return except that you breathe and rest and let go of whatever small remainders of the waking world are still softly clinging to the edges of your mind. We are closer now to our sleeping black hole than we have been at any point in this long and calming night. And the space around us has changed in ways that are subtle and beautiful and deeply, profoundly still. The geometry here is different. Space-time itself, the fabric that holds all distances and all durations, is behaving in a way that has no equivalent anywhere in ordinary experience. And yet, held in the context of this relaxing story, it feels not alarming, but wondrous, not strange, but soothing. One more reminder that the universe operates at depths of creativity and complexity that the human mind can only approach slowly, gently, and with great patience. Our black hole is rotating. Most black holes are, because the stars that collapsed to form them were themselves rotating. And as they compressed, they spun faster, the way a dancer draws inward and turns more quickly. And around a rotating black hole, something extraordinary happens to the space-time in a region just outside the event horizon. This region is called the Ergosphere, and it is our 24th universe mystery for this long and peaceful night. The The ergosphere is a zone in which space-time itself is dragged around by the rotation of the black hole. Not metaphorically, not approximately, but literally. The very fabric of space being pulled into a slow, continuous rotation around the black hole's axis. The way honey swirls around a slowly turning spoon within the ergosphere, it is impossible for anything to remain stationary relative to the distant stars. Space-time itself is moving, turning, carrying everything within it in a slow, vast rotation that cannot be resisted, and yet this dragging is not violent or sudden. For a supermassive black hole like ours, the ergosphere extends enormous distances from the center, and the rotation it imparts is gradual, majestic, unhurried. A slow turning of the entire local universe around a single vast and sleeping axis. This is our 25th relaxing universe mystery. Near a rotating black hole, space itself turns, and nothing within the ergosphere can remain still, drawn into the black hole's slow, ancient rotation, the way a leaf is drawn into the long, gentle spiral of a whirlpool, turning without urgency, turning without end. Now consider what an observer far away, floating safely at a great distance, would see if they watched a single photon of light hovering just at the edge of the event horizon. Due to the extreme gravitational time dilation at that boundary, the photon would appear to slow and slow and slow, its oscillations stretching longer and longer, its frequency dropping lower and lower, until from the distant observer's perspective, it appears to freeze entirely, hanging motionless at the horizon's edge, its clock stopped, its moment extended into an eternity. This is our 26th universe mystery. From the outside, objects approaching an event horizon appear to slow and freeze in time, their final moment stretched across all of future cosmic history, preserved forever at the boundary between the knowable and the unknown. A long, soft pause at the edge of everything, and this image of a single photon frozen at the horizon, its last moment extended without end, is perhaps the most purely restful image the universe offers to a mind drifting toward sleep. A moment that does not end, a pause that holds, a stillness so complete that time itself has nothing left to measure. Here, in the long, soft dark of our approach, with the ergosphere turning slowly around us, and the event horizon curving the geometry of every direction gently inward, and time itself stretching each moment wider and softer and slower than the one before, there is nothing to hurry toward and nothing to move away from. There is only this, the vast, patient, rotating dark, and the slow turning of space-time, and the universe breathing its ancient breath around us, and you, resting perfectly still at the center of it all. You are almost entirely asleep now. Whatever small thread of awareness is still following these words is doing so softly, loosely, without effort or intention, the way a hand trails in warm water from the side of a slow-moving boat. There is nothing you need to hold on to. There is nothing you need to understand or remember or carry with you into the morning. This long and calming sleep story will continue to flow around you, whether you are listening closely or simply dreaming at its edges. And either way, you are exactly where you are meant to be, deeply rested, deeply still, held in the slow and patient dark of the universe's most serene and ancient place. We have spent this entire night approaching our sleeping black hole. And now we rest here in its vicinity, in the slow-turning quiet of its ergosphere, with the event horizon curving space-time gently inward ahead of us, and the vast void stretching away behind us in every direction. And in this stillness, the universe offers three of its deepest and most quietly extraordinary mysteries, ideas that live at the very boundary of what human thought has yet been able to reach, concepts that feel, in the soft dark of this moment, less like physics and more like poetry whispered from the edge of the knowable. At the very center of a black hole, according to the equations of general relativity, there exists a point where the curvature of space-time becomes infinite, where density increases without bound, where the ordinary descriptions of space and distance and time cease to function entirely. This is called a singularity, and it is our 27th universe mystery for this long and gentle night. The singularity is not a place in the way any other place is a place. It is a location where our current understanding of the universe reaches its own horizon, where the mathematics that describes every other phenomenon in the cosmos arrives at a boundary it cannot cross, and where something else, something not yet understood, something that will require a future union of quantum mechanics and general relativity to describe, must take over. Most physicists believe the true nature of a singularity is not an actual infinity, but a signal that our current maps of reality are incomplete, that something quieter and stranger and more fundamental underlies what the equations describe. This is our 28th relaxing universe mystery. A singularity is not simply a place of infinite density, but the universe's way of telling us that its own deepest nature remains, even now, a mystery held in reserve, a final quiet room that no current theory has yet been able to open. Related to this mystery is one of the most profound and beautiful puzzles in all of modern physics, the black hole information paradox. When matter falls into a black hole, it carries with it information, the precise quantum state of every particle it contains, every detail of its history and composition. But if a black hole eventually evaporates through Hawking radiation, releasing only thermal radiation that carries no specific information about what fell in, what happens to all of that detail, all of that history? This is our 29th mystery. The universe may have a rule deep in its quantum foundations. That information is never truly destroyed, only transformed and hidden. And black holes sit at the center of the question of whether that rule holds even at the most extreme boundaries of existence. And then there is perhaps the most quietly beautiful theoretical object in all of cosmology, the white hole. A white hole is the precise mathematical time reversal of a black hole, a solution to the same equations that describe black holes, but running in the opposite temporal direction, where a black hole draws everything inward across its event horizon. A white hole pours everything outward, a fountain of space-time and matter, and light flowing away from its horizon in every direction, impossible to enter from outside, impossible to stop from within. No white hole has ever been observed, and it remains entirely theoretical. But the equations that describe our universe permit them, and some physicists have suggested they may be connected to black holes through deep structures in space-time, the entrance and the exit of the same ancient tunnel, separated by distances and durations too vast for any signal to cross. This is our 30th universe mystery. White holes may exist as the gentle, outward-flowing twins of black holes, fountains of space-time pouring their contents into the cosmos in the universe's most generous and unhurried act of creation. And the same mathematics that describes the darkness of one describes the radiance of the other. Let yourself be completely still now. Let even the last soft thread of effort dissolve, the small, quiet effort of following, of tracking, of holding this story in any deliberate way. And simply let it wash over you the way warm water washes over a hand held loosely beneath a gentle current. You have traveled so far tonight through the velvet dark of deep space, and the universe has been so generous with its mysteries, offering them one by one in the slow, unhurried way that only something ancient and vast and entirely untroubled by time can offer anything. We rest here still in the quiet turning of the Ergosphere, with the sleeping black hole holding its immense and patient presence around us. And now, the universe draws our attention gently outward again, away from the intimate strangeness of event horizons and singularities, to something grander and more majestic. The supermassive black holes that sit at the very centers of almost every large galaxy in the known universe. Our own Milky Way holds one. It is called Sagittarius A star, and it contains a mass approximately 4 million times greater than our Sun, compressed into a region of space smaller than the distance between our Sun and its nearest planetary neighbors. It is our 31st relaxing universe mystery. At the center of our own galaxy, 4 million solar masses of compressed spacetime sit in quiet, dormant stillness, surrounded by a slow orbital dance of ancient stars that have been circling it for longer than our Sun has existed. Those stars, some of them called S-stars by the astronomers who have spent decades tracking their paths, move in elliptical orbits around Sagittarius A star at extraordinary speeds, some of them reaching several percent of the speed of light at their closest approaches, their paths curving in the deep gravitational well of the galactic center in long, sweeping arcs that take years or decades to complete. And yet, from the perspective of the galaxy as a whole, from the perspective of the vast and slow-turning spiral of the Milky Way, even these swift stars are part of a larger, more patient rhythm, the 30-second mystery of our night, the orbital period of our entire solar system around the galactic center, which takes approximately 225 million years to complete one full revolution. A span of time so immense that since the last time our Sun was in this same position in its galactic orbit, the dominant life forms on Earth were early dinosaurs. We have traveled once around the galaxy since the age of the great reptiles, and we will travel once more before anything we might recognize as human civilization would fill even a breath of that duration. This is what it means to think in cosmic time, not the time of hours or years or even centuries, but the deep, slow, geological and astronomical time that the universe uses as its natural currency, in which the entire history of human civilization occupies a sliver, so thin it would be invisible on any scale, that could show the full sweep of cosmic history. This is our 33rd universe mystery. Cosmic time is so vast, so deep, so incomprehensibly patient, that every human story ever told, every empire risen and fallen, every generation born and gone, occupies a moment shorter than the blink of a cosmic eye. And within that vastness, there is not smallness, but a profound and soothing freedom. The freedom of knowing that the universe is in no hurry. That time is not running out, but simply running endlessly and gently through scales of duration that dwarf every urgency and dissolve every pressure into the same quiet dark that surrounds us now. And in that quiet dark, held in the slow turning of space-time near our sleeping companion, with the galactic center somewhere behind us, carrying its ancient secret of compressed millions of suns, and the S-stars tracing their long elliptical paths in the deep gravitational well, and the universe's clock turning in measures of hundreds of millions of years. There is something available to you right now that the busy, urgent, time-pressured world of ordinary life rarely offers. The felt sense that there is enough time, that there has always been enough time, that the universe itself is the proof that patience is not just a virtue, but the deepest structural feature of all of existence, built into every orbit, every stellar life cycle, every slow turning of every galaxy in the endless, gentle, breathing dark. Stay here with me. Stay in this soft, slow, ancient dark where the universe moves in measures of hundreds of millions of years. And nothing is ever truly urgent, and nothing is ever truly lost. You are resting so beautifully now. You're breathing slow, and even your body heavy and warm and completely at peace. And this long and gentle bedtime story has no intention of rushing toward any ending. It will simply continue, unhurried and calm, for as long as the night needs it to, carrying you through one quiet mystery after another, the way a slow river carries a leaf, without effort, without direction, with nothing but the soft and patient movement of everything toward rest, from the stillness of our position near the sleeping black hole, with cosmic time stretching around us in measures so vast they dissolve every ordinary sense of urgency. The universe now draws our attention to one of the most quietly spectacular events. It produces the collision and merger of entire galaxies. The word collision might suggest violence, might suggest impact and destruction and chaos. But in the context of galaxies, it means something far slower and far stranger and far more serene than any ordinary collision could be. When two galaxies move toward each other and their gravitational fields begin to interact, the process that follows takes hundreds of millions of years from beginning to completion. This is our 34th relaxing universe mystery. Galaxy mergers are among the largest events in the universe, and yet they unfold so slowly that not a single star within either galaxy is likely to physically collide with another, because the distances between stars are so immense that two galaxies can pass through each other like two clouds of breath on a cold morning, interpenetrating and swirling and slowly drawing together without a single direct stellar impact. Our own Milky Way is currently moving toward the Andromeda Galaxy, our nearest large galactic neighbor, at a speed of approximately 110 kilometers per second. In approximately 4.5 billion years, the two galaxies will begin their long, slow gravitational dance, passing through each other and drawing back, and passing through again over the course of another billion years or more, until they finally settle into a single merged galaxy, sometimes called Mulcometa by those who think about such things. A new and larger structure born from the slow, patient embrace of two ancient spirals. This is our 35th universe mystery. The Milky Way and Andromeda are already falling slowly toward each other, and their eventual merger, billions of years from now, will be not a catastrophe, but a transformation. A long, slow, gravitational waltz that will reshape both galaxies into something new, without destroying a single one of their hundreds of billions of stars. And those stars themselves carry a history of generations that reaches back almost to the beginning of time. The very first stars to form in the early universe were made of almost nothing but hydrogen and helium, the only elements the Big Bang produced in significant quantities. These first stars, called population 3 stars, were enormous and burned brilliantly and briefly, living for only a few million years before exploding as supernovae and seeding the surrounding gas with the first heavy elements: carbon, oxygen, iron, and all the others that had been forged in their cores. From that enriched gas, a second generation of stars formed, slightly smaller, slightly longer-lived, carrying within them the legacy of those first brief giants, and from subsequent generations, each one inheriting and adding to the elemental richness of the last. Eventually, stars like our own sun formed, third generation or later, built from the accumulated contributions of billions of years of stellar birth and death, carrying within their cores and in the planets that formed around them every element needed for chemistry, for geology, for biology, for the long and unlikely chain of events that eventually produced, among countless other things, a person lying in the quiet dark of a room somewhere on a small blue world, listening to a calming narration about the universe that made them. This is our 36th universe mystery. You are the product of multiple generations of stars, each one living and dying, and giving its atoms back to the cosmos. And the iron in your blood, and the calcium in your bones, and the oxygen in this breath you are taking right now were forged across billions of years of stellar generations, passed forward through the patient dark until they arrived here in you, resting and breathing and drifting softly towards sleep. Let go now, completely and without reservation, of every last small thing you have been holding. Let this calming narration become simply the texture of the dark around you, a soft and continuous presence that asks nothing and offers everything, the gentle company of the universe itself, thinking its oldest thoughts slowly and quietly in the deep hours of the night, while you rest beneath its immensity, breathing in and breathing out, held in the patient geometry of a cosmos that has been here for nearly 14 billion years and will continue for trillions more, entirely unhurried, entirely at peace from our still and settled position near the sleeping black hole, with the ergosphere turning slowly around us, and time stretched wide and warm in every direction. The universe now offers something extraordinary to contemplate. Not a place, not an object, not even a process exactly, but the very first moment of everything, the first fraction of the first second, of the first instant in which the universe existed at all. In that unimaginably brief opening moment, something happened that shaped every structure and every mystery we have explored together tonight. The universe underwent a period of extraordinary, almost instantaneous expansion. Not the slow, continuous expansion we know today, but an explosion of growth so rapid and so complete that in a fraction of a second, incomprehensibly smaller than the blink of any eye, the universe expanded from something smaller than a single subatomic particle to something larger than any distance we can meaningfully imagine. This is called cosmic inflation, and it is our 37th universe mystery for this long and peaceful night. Cosmic inflation explains something that would otherwise be deeply puzzling. Why the universe looks so remarkably similar in every direction we observe it. Why the cosmic microwave background we explored together in Chapter 3 has the same temperature and the same faint pattern of ripples, no matter which part of the sky we measure it from, even in directions so far apart that without inflation they could never have been in contact with each other, could never have exchanged heat or information, could never have had any reason to look the same. Inflation stretched everything so rapidly and so uniformly that regions which began in the same initial conditions were carried to opposite ends of the observable universe before they had any chance to diverge, leaving behind a cosmos of extraordinary large-scale uniformity, smooth and even and calm. This is our 38th relaxing universe mystery. The profound sameness of the universe in every direction, its smoothness, its evenness, its large-scale tranquility, is the direct legacy of that first extraordinary moment of inflation, a calmness written into the structure of everything at the very beginning of time. And from that inflation, space-time emerged with a quality that physicists call flatness, meaning that on the very largest scales, the geometry of the universe is neither curved like the surface of a sphere, nor curved in the opposite sense like a saddle, but is instead geometrically flat, extending in every direction without overall curvature, so that parallel lines remain parallel across the entire observable universe. This is our 39th universe mystery. The universe is geometrically flat to a precision that current measurements can confirm, balanced between all the forms of energy and matter. It contains, with an exactness so fine it feels less like coincidence and more like the universe's deepest preference for a certain kind of quiet equilibrium. And then there is the most fundamental mystery of all, the question of why anything exists. In the very earliest moments of the universe, matter and antimatter were produced in nearly equal quantities, and matter and antimatter annihilate each other completely upon contact, converting entirely into energy and leaving nothing behind. If the universe had been perfectly symmetric, every particle of matter would have met and annihilated with a particle of antimatter, and nothing would remain. No stars, no galaxies, no planets, no people, no dark, quiet rooms with someone lying in them, drifting softly toward sleep. But for every billion pairs of matter and antimatter particles, there was one extra particle of matter, just one, in every billion. And it is from that tiny, extraordinary asymmetry that everything you have ever seen or touched or known is made. This is our 40th universe mystery, the entire material universe. Every star and planet and living being in it exists because of a difference of one part in a billion between matter and antimatter in the first moments of time, a whisper of asymmetry so small and so ancient that it feels, in the soft dark of this moment, like the universe's most intimate secret held quietly at its very beginning and given to everything that followed as the most fundamental gift imaginable. Breathe in very slowly and breathe out even more slowly, and let this night story continue to be the only thing that exists for you right now. Not a task, not an experience to be remembered, not even a story in any ordinary sense, but simply a sound, a warmth, a long and gentle presence moving through the dark alongside you as you rest. We have been together for so long tonight, you and this calming narration, and the vast and patient universe surrounding us. And there is still so much more of the night ahead, still so many more quiet mysteries to drift through together, each one softer and more soothing than the last. Each one a gentle reminder that the cosmos in which you exist is not a harsh or demanding place, but an ancient and generous one, full of wonders it offers without condition, and mysteries it holds without urgency. From our settled position near the sleeping black hole, the universe now draws our awareness outward to the very largest scale at which structure exists anywhere in the known cosmos, the cosmic web. If you were able to rise above the observable universe and look down upon it from a perspective so elevated that entire galaxy clusters appeared as single points of light, you would see something extraordinary and deeply beautiful. Not a random scattering of light, not a uniform fog of galaxies, but an intricate, lace-like structure of filaments and nodes and vast dark voids, looking for all the world like the delicate threads of a spider's web suspended in the dark, or like the branching networks of neurons in a sleeping brain, or like the veins of a single enormous leaf. This is the cosmic web, and it is our 41st universe mystery for this long and peaceful night. The cosmic web is the largest known structure in the universe, a network of filaments composed of dark matter, gas, and galaxies, stretching across hundreds of millions of light years, with galaxy clusters gathered at the nodes where filaments intersect, and the great cosmic voids occupying the dark spaces between them. This structure was not designed or placed, but emerged naturally from the tiny quantum fluctuations present in the very early universe, amplified by gravity over billions of years into the vast and intricate architecture we observe today. A pattern written by physics alone across the entire observable cosmos. This is our 40-second relaxing universe mystery. The largest structure in existence grew from the smallest possible fluctuations. Quantum ripples in the fabric of the infant universe, stretched by inflation and sculpted by gravity into something of breathtaking, web-like beauty spanning billions of light years in every direction. Now let your awareness drift downward from that cosmic scale, away from the filaments and the galaxy clusters, down through the spaces between stars, into the quiet dark of interstellar space, where something lonely and beautiful and deeply peaceful drifts without destination. Rogue planets are our 43rd mystery for this gentle night. Worlds that formed around stars in the ordinary way, built from the same slow accretion of gas and dust that formed every planet in our solar system, but which were subsequently ejected from their home systems by gravitational interactions with other planets or passing stars, cast out into the interstellar dark to wander alone, without a sun, without warmth, without any fixed destination, drifting through the void between the stars for billions of years in perfect, unhurried solitude. Some estimates suggest that rogue planets may actually outnumber stars in the galaxy, meaning the dark between the stars is populated with countless silent, frozen worlds moving alone through the dark in their long, patient journeys across the galaxy. And far from these wandering worlds, in a region of space where a massive star collapsed not into a black hole, but into a neutron star of extraordinary magnetic intensity, there exists the most magnetically powerful object in the known universe, a magnetar. A magnetar is a neutron star whose magnetic field is so extraordinarily intense, 1 trillion times stronger than Earth's magnetic field, that it would disrupt the iron atoms in your body from the distance of half the moon's orbit. And yet, in the context of this night's deep and calming narration, even this extreme object carries a quality of stillness, because a magnetar, like all neutron stars, is simply cooling, simply spinning, simply persisting in the quiet dark. Its extraordinary magnetism, a feature of its nature rather than an act of will, a passive and unchanging property of something ancient and dense, and profoundly at rest. This is our 44th universe mystery. Magnetars hold the most intense magnetic fields in the known universe, and yet they are, in their deepest nature, simply cooling remnants of ancient stars, resting in the dark with their extraordinary power held quietly within them, like a sleeping thing whose dreams are made of forces beyond imagination. Let the night hold you completely now. There is nothing left to resist, nothing left to navigate, nothing left to decide. This long and gentle sleep story has been your companion through so many hours of quiet cosmic wonder, and it will continue to be, patient and unhurried, and entirely devoted to the single soft purpose of keeping you company in the dark, while the universe breathes its ancient breath around you, and time moves in its slow, stretched, gravity-deepened way through the ergosphere of our sleeping companion. Your body has long since found its deepest rest, and whatever part of you is still listening does so without effort, without intention, the way a dreaming mind receives the sounds of a quiet house, not as information to be processed, but as warmth as presence, as the reassurance that the world continues gently beyond the borders of sleep. From the stillness of this cosmic resting place, the universe now draws our attention to something extraordinary. A traveler unlike any other, moving through the cosmos in perfect and ancient solitude. Cosmic rays are not rays in the way light is a ray, not a beam or a wave or any kind of electromagnetic phenomenon, but individual subatomic particles, protons, atomic nuclei, electrons, traveling through space at velocities so close to the speed of light that the difference is almost too small to express. Some of these particles carry energies so enormous that the mechanism that accelerated them to such speeds remains, even now, one of the deepest unsolved mysteries in astrophysics. They travel alone through the universe, crossing the voids between galaxies, threading through magnetic fields, deflected and redirected across millions and sometimes billions of light years of space, until finally, after journeys of almost unimaginable duration, some of them arrive at Earth, plunging into the upper atmosphere and producing brief, branching cascades of secondary particles that shower down toward the surface in a soft, invisible rain. This is our 45th universe mystery. Cosmic rays have been traveling alone through the universe for millions and billions of years, crossing distances that dwarf every other journey ever made, carrying within them a record of their origin that we are still learning to read, ancient and solitary, and endlessly patient travelers arriving quietly at the edge of our atmosphere after voyages longer than the age of our solar system. Now let your awareness drift from these solitary travelers to something more expansive, more colorful, more achingly beautiful: the nebulae. A nebula is a cloud of gas and dust in space, and they come in many forms, each one a different chapter in the story of stellar life and death. Some nebulae are stellar nurseries, the molecular clouds we explored together in Chapter 7, where new stars are slowly condensing from cold gas under the patient insistence of gravity. Their eventual ignition still millions of years in the future. Others are the remnants of stars that have already completed their long lives, planetary nebulae, those soft and symmetrical shells of glowing gas released by aging stars in their final expansion, drifting outward from the stellar remnant at their center in slow, luminous rings and lobes of color. This is our 46th relaxing universe mystery. Nebulae are simultaneously the birthplaces and the memorial gardens of stars, the places where stellar life begins, and where the materials of completed stellar lives are gently returned to the cosmos. And they are among the most visually extraordinary structures the universe produces, glowing in colors ranging from deep crimson to soft blue-green to pale gold, lit from within by the radiation of newborn or dying stars. And then there is something so quiet and so beautiful that it feels almost like a poem written by the universe for its own contemplation. A light echo. When a massive star explodes or undergoes a sudden dramatic brightening, the burst of light it releases travels outward in every direction at the speed of light. Some of that light travels directly toward us and arrives first, showing us the event as it happens. but other portions of that same burst of light travel outward at angles, strike nearby clouds of dust and gas, and are reflected by them toward us, arriving later, long after the original event has passed, carrying the memory of that ancient flash in a slow, expanding ring of reflected illumination, spreading outward through the surrounding dust. This is our 47th universe mystery. Light echoes allow us to watch, in slow and peaceful reflection, the afterglow of stellar events that occurred years or centuries ago. The universe's own way of remembering its brightest moments by writing their soft reflections in the patient dark of the surrounding dust. A memorial made of light itself, still traveling, still gentle, long after the moment that created it has passed into silence. You are so deeply rested now, so beautifully, completely, peacefully still. Let this long and calming narration continue to be nothing more than the softest possible texture of the dark around you, a gentle sound, a warm presence, a river of quiet words that asks nothing of you and offers only the continued, unhurried company of the universe in its most serene and ancient mood. We have been drifting together for so long through the velvet dark of this cosmic night, and the sleeping black hole holds its patient gravity around us, and time moves in its slow and stretched and gravity-deepened way, and there is nowhere to go and nothing to do, and nothing to be except exactly this, still and resting and breathing and held from the quiet of our settled position. The universe now offers something that is less a single object and more a beautiful process, a way of reaching across the immensity of space to understand just how vast it truly is. Astronomers cannot stretch a measuring tape between stars. They cannot walk the distance from one galaxy to another and count their steps. Instead, they have built something called the cosmic distance ladder, a carefully linked sequence of measurement methods, each one reliable at a certain range, and used to calibrate the next, reaching progressively further into the cosmos, like the rungs of a ladder, extending upward into a sky without ceiling. The first rungs use geometry, the way Earth's position changes as it orbits the sun allows astronomers to measure the distances to nearby stars through the same triangulation a surveyor uses on Earth, the star appearing to shift very slightly against the background of more distant stars as our planet moves from one side of its orbit to the other. Further rungs use the known brightness of certain types of variable stars called Cepheids, whose brightness pulses with a period directly related to their true luminosity, allowing their distance to be calculated from how bright they appear. And further still, the known brightness of certain types of supernovae carries the ladder to the edges of the observable universe itself. This is our 48th relaxing universe mystery. The cosmic distance ladder is one of humanity's most patient and beautiful intellectual achievements, a chain of carefully interlocked measurements reaching across 13 billion light years of space, each link depending on the one before it, built over centuries of observation and thought. Now let your awareness drift from this process of measurement to something more visual, more graceful, more deeply soothing to contemplate: binary star systems. Most stars in the universe do not travel alone the way our sun does. the majority of stars are born in pairs or small groups, and many of them spend their entire lives in a slow gravitational dance with a companion, orbiting their shared center of mass in long elliptical paths that take years or decades or centuries to complete, depending on the distance between them. Some binary pairs are so close together that their outer atmospheres touch and material flows slowly between them in a gentle, continuous stream. Others are separated by distances so vast that they complete a single orbit only over thousands of years. Their companionship more like a distant, sustained acknowledgement across an enormous dark than any intimate proximity. This is our 49th universe mystery. Most stars in the universe are not solitary like our sun, but exist in pairs or multiples, spending their entire stellar lives in the slow and patient gravitational company of a companion. Their paths around each other as steady and as ancient as any orbit in the cosmos. And then, at the very edge of the observable universe, shining from a time when the cosmos was young and strange, and filled with energies it has since spent and settled, there are quasars, the most luminous, persistent objects in the known universe. Active galactic nuclei powered by supermassive black holes in their most voracious feeding phases, pouring out energy equivalent to trillions of suns from a region no larger than our solar system. They are ancient beyond ordinary comprehension. Most of the quasars we observe existed when the universe was less than 2 billion years old, and the light we see from them has been traveling toward us ever since, crossing nearly the entire width of the observable universe before arriving quietly at our telescopes. This is our 50th universe mystery, the midpoint of our long and peaceful night's journey. Quasars are the universe's most ancient beacons, fires lit in the early cosmos that have long since quieted into the dormant black holes sleeping at the hearts of mature galaxies. Their light still arriving from the edge of time, soft and ancient and patient, carrying the memory of the universe's bright and restless youth across the full breadth of cosmic history to rest, at last, in the quiet dark where we are resting too. Stay here, perfectly and completely still, in this long and gentle night that belongs entirely to you and to the universe, and to the soft, unhurried space between one breath and the next. We have crossed the halfway point of our 100 mysteries together, and the night ahead is as long and as quiet and as full of soft wonder as the night behind us. And there is not a single moment of it that will ask anything of you except this: to rest, to breathe, to let the words continue flowing past you like warm water past a hand held loosely in a slow and silent river. The sleeping black hole is still here, patient and vast and still, its gravity holding time in its long, stretched, slow embrace. And we are still drifting in the soft turning of its ergosphere, and the universe is still breathing its ancient breath around us in measures of hundreds of millions of years. And everything is exactly as calm and as dark and as peaceful as it has been all through this long and calming bedtime story. From the stillness of this moment, the universe now offers something that arrives without warning and departs before any warning could be given. A fast radio burst in in the span of a single millisecond, sometimes less. A burst of radio waves arrives at Earth from an enormous distance, carrying more energy than our sun releases in days or weeks. And then it is gone, as completely and as finally as if it had never come, leaving behind nothing but a record in our instruments and a profound and enduring mystery. Vast radio bursts were first detected in 2007, and in the years since, astronomers have cataloged hundreds of them, arriving from galaxies billions of light years away. Some of them repeating on irregular schedules, most of them appearing only once. Their origin is still not fully understood, though magnetars, those extraordinarily magnetic neutron stars we visited together in Chapter 14, are among the most compelling proposed sources. Their intense magnetic fields, capable of releasing enormous bursts of energy in catastrophic but brief rearrangements of their magnetic structure. This is our 51st relaxing universe mystery. Fast radio bursts are among the most energetic and least understood phenomena in the observable universe. Millisecond flashes of extraordinary power arriving from billions of light years away, each one a brief and ancient message from the distant cosmos that we are only beginning to learn to read. Now consider something far smaller and far closer to the fabric of physics itself. The way that particles moving at velocities close to the speed of light experience time. We explored gravitational time dilation together in Chapter 4, the way time slows near massive objects. But there is another form of time dilation, arising not from gravity, but from velocity, described by special relativity, and it produces effects that are equally profound and equally soothing to contemplate in the soft dark of this night. A particle moving at close to the speed of light experiences time, passing far more slowly than a stationary observer watching it from outside. Cosmic ray particles arriving at Earth's upper atmosphere, those ancient travelers we met in Chapter 15, are moving so close to the speed of light that from their own perspective, the journey from their source to Earth takes only a small fraction of the time it would take measured from outside. They are, in a genuine and physical sense, travelers through time as well as space, their own clocks running slowly relative to the universe around them. This is our 52nd universe mystery. Velocity, like gravity, slows the passage of time, and the fastest moving particles in the universe experience their journeys across billions of light years in a duration that, from their own perspective, is incomprehensibly brief, time itself stretching and softening in proportion to their extraordinary speed. And now, from these brief and energetic things, the universe offers its most profoundly restful long-term vision, the far future, trillions of years from now, long after every star currently burning in every galaxy has exhausted its fuel and faded. The universe will enter a phase called the degenerate era, a vast and quiet epoch in which the only stellar remnants remaining will be white dwarfs, neutron stars, and black holes, cooling slowly in a dark that grows darker with every passing trillion years. The last red dwarfs, the smallest and most frugal of all stars, will continue burning for 10 trillion years or more before they too finally cool and darken. and the universe will grow quieter and colder, and more still with each unimaginable expanse of time that passes. This is our 53rd universe mystery. The universe's long-term future is not violent or abrupt, but a slow, patient, extraordinarily gradual dimming. A cooling and quieting across timescales so vast that every moment of cosmic history we have explored together tonight is merely the bright and brief opening chapter of a story whose later volumes are written in darkness and stillness, and the long, slow piece of things cooling gently toward absolute rest. And so we arrive, softly and without hurry, at the final chapter of this long and beautiful night. Not an ending so much as a settling, a gentle coming to rest the way a feather finally comes to rest after its long, slow, unhurried journey through still air, touching down so softly that the surface beneath it barely knows it has arrived. You have traveled so far tonight, through the velvet dark of deep space, past the invisible scaffolding of dark matter, through the ancient glow of the universe's first light, past cooling white dwarfs and pulsing neutron stars, through cosmic voids and stellar nurseries, into the slow turning ergosphere of our sleeping companion, and out again across the full, breathtaking breadth of everything that exists. And now here, in this final chapter of this gentle bedtime story, the universe has 3 last quiet mysteries to offer you, 3 last soft wonders to place in your mind like stones placed gently on the surface of still water, sinking slowly, leaving only the faintest rings of ripple before the surface returns to its perfect and undisturbed calm. In the very first moments of the universe, during the extraordinary period of cosmic inflation, we explored together in Chapter 13 the rapid expansion of spacetime did not only stretch the quantum fluctuations that would eventually become the seeds of galaxies. It also, according to some of the most careful and considered theories in modern cosmology, generated gravitational waves, ripples in the fabric of spacetime itself, produced not by colliding black holes or merging neutron stars, but by the expansion of everything, by the universe's own first breath. These are called primordial gravitational waves, and they are our 54th relaxing universe mystery. Waves that, if they exist as theory predicts, have been traveling through the fabric of spacetime since the very first fraction of the very first second of all of time, passing silently through everything that has ever existed, through every star and planet and living being, through every quiet room and every sleeping person, through you right now in this very moment, the universe's oldest and most patient trembling, so ancient and so faint that detecting them remains one of the great open challenges of modern science. A whisper from before the first light, still traveling, still gentle, still moving through everything in perfect and eternal silence. And then there are the brown dwarfs, the universe's most peaceful almost things, objects that formed from collapsing clouds of gas in the same way stars do, that gathered enough mass to begin the slow contraction toward a stellar core, but which never quite accumulated enough material to ignite sustained nuclear fusion, never quite crossed the threshold into true starhood. They are too large to be planets, too small to be stars, hovering in a quiet middle place between the two, glowing faintly with the residual heat of their formation, cooling slowly and patiently in the dark. This is our 55th universe mystery. Brown dwarfs are the universe's gentle almost stars, objects that came so close to ignition and then simply settled into a long, slow, peaceful cooling. Neither star nor planet, but something quietly and beautifully their own, drifting through the galaxy in their millions, glowing just enough to be warm, never enough to be bright. The universe's most serene reminder that not everything needs to burn in order to be extraordinary. And finally, at the very edge of theoretical physics, in the deepest and most speculative regions of cosmological thought, there exists a concept so strange and so beautiful that it feels less like science and more like the universe dreaming about its own earliest moments, cosmic strings in the first instance of the universe. As the extraordinary temperatures of the Big Bang cooled and the fundamental forces of nature separated from their original unified state in a series of phase transitions, some theories predict that the fabric of space-time may have developed long, incredibly thin defects, one-dimensional cracks in the structure of space itself, thinner than a proton, stretching potentially across the entire observable universe, carrying enormous energy in their extraordinary tension, vibrating in slow, vast oscillations through the cosmic dark. This is our 56th and final mystery of this long and gentle night, and in many ways the most fitting one with which to close, because a cosmic string is simply a vibration, a slow and ancient and almost incomprehensibly subtle trembling of the fabric of everything, too quiet to hear, too thin to see, too vast to comprehend, and yet present, perhaps, in the very structure of the space that holds you right now, running silently through the dark of your room and the dark of the universe with equal patience and equal peace. And so the universe has given you everything it has to give tonight. 56 mysteries, each one softer and more soothing than the last, each one a gentle reminder that the cosmos in which you exist is ancient and generous and endlessly patient, that the dark is not empty but full, that the silence is not absence but presence, and that you, resting here in the warm and quiet dark, are as much a part of all of this as any star or void or sleeping black hole or primordial wave. Sleep now. The universe will still be here when you wake.